My name is Patrick Livingstone. I was in custody in Dundalk in December 1975, and a guard came in to me and said there was a couple of people from the north to visit me. I thought it was family. I was brought to a room, pushed through the door, and the door locked behind me. I went into the room. There were 3 armed special branch from Belk. I saw one of their guns, that's how I know they were armed. Yeah. They showed me a photo and said, we want to question you about this, the murder of this man. And I said I didn't want to talk to him. Went out, beat the door, and eventually, a minute later, the door was open and he was taken back to the cell. The guard had denied this ever happened for years and years, till eventually they had to admit it. They said they would never ever allow the ICWC to interview anybody in their jurisdiction. Approximately 9 months later, I was arrested outside Newry, taken to the stables in Bessbrook and tortured. Arising that torture, I was 3 days in Musgrave Park Hospital. While I was in Musgrave Park Hospital, one of the special branchmen, Brian McVicker, came in to me and charged me with the murder of Samuel Llewellyn, alleging that I had said, I done it, while in Dundalk Police Station. I was then brought to Crumlin Road Jail, where I was kept on remand for approximately 7 months. I was taken to court. The trial lasted 3 hours, including an hour for dinner, found guilty and sentenced to natural life. I then was brought to the Maze prison, Long Cash as was, where I spent 17.5 years. I appealed the conviction while in there. My appeal lasted 10 minutes and was thrown out. While I was in, my door opened in the middle of the night. A governor called Pepper and 3 screws were standing there. They asked me had I got a sister called Julia. I said no, I hadn't. And they looked a bit shocked. They said, you haven't got a sister called Julia? I says, no, I have a sister called Julia. And Mr. Pepper says, that's close enough, she's dead, and slammed the door. My 14-year-old sister, Julie, had been murdered by the British Army. We come from the shop, she was hit in the head with a plastic bullet. And that's how I found out about it. An obnoxious governor and 3 laughing screws. I think it was more difficult for my family than for me, you know what I mean? I was in there and you really hadn't time to think about it because it was just complete and utter madness the whole 17.5 years. With the whole guys down on hunger strike here, everything is going on. Torture every day here. So I really had much time to think about it. I think it was a lot worse for my family outside. As I said, but I know people that pleaded guilty for things that they didn't do because they were caught up in that whole system. The solicitor says, you fight this, you're going to get 15 years, I'll get you 8. I know plenty of people that pleaded guilty for things that they didn't do. That's how bad that whole system was. And of course, the ICWC, who they got rid of, which proves it was a tainted organisation. Anything any of them said should never ever be taken. Any of their words about anything. I was released after 17.5 years, and I have been fighting this ever since. And I know I'm not the only person that this has happened to. There's a lot of people out there with the same and perhaps even worse cases than me. And I would advise them all, anybody with anything at all, to get in touch with the Irish Centre on Wrongful Convictions.